Hello and welcome to day 4 of our Fall in Love Again challenge. How much energy do you put into stuffing down your feelings and not expressing your needs? Are there words inside of you that you've been holding on to for so long now? Maybe you feel like a volcano that's about to erupt. Or maybe you don't trust yourself anymore to talk about what's really important to you with your husband because it usually comes out all the wrong way. He takes it personally. You end up arguing. Nothing changes. So why bother? Good communication is a skill. It's an art. And not many of us do it well because we've been taught to deny and suppress our feelings, to put on a brave face, to not be angry, not get jealous. And yet it's the stuffing down of these normal human emotions that can make them so destructive. And small misunderstandings build up over time, nothing gets resolved, and the conflict grows until the line of communication breaks down completely. And it's really sad. If I'd had good communication skills in the early years of my marriage, I'm sure that my husband and I could have avoided so many of the problems that were caused by misunderstanding and assumptions about what the other was feeling or thinking that weren't even right. And one of the big mistakes that we make in our relationships is that we think if our partner cared for us, if he loved us, he would know what we wanted and take measures to please us. But men don't work like that, and they're not mind readers, and their style of communication is different to ours. They're straight shooters. They mean what they say what they mean. Whereas we women tend to talk around in circles. We drop hints and we're less direct in our language. And even though our girlfriends and the women around us usually get it, our men are left scratching their heads because their brains are wired differently. So I'll say it again. They don't think like we do. So make sure to use plain, simple language with your man. And you as a woman hold the key to unlocking your man's heart through expressing and sharing your feelings and emotions in a way that he can hear you, which means without anger or blame or without criticism, because this helps him to tune into his own feelings and emotions, and that's what he wants from you. He's actually looking to you to provide a safe place for him to open up, and the only way to do that is through opening up to him first. This is really important. Men fall in love with women who are in tune with their feelings, and good communication is essential for a good relationship. Now, here's some basic skills that we need to learn. Firstly, it's all about the energy that you bring to the conversation. So your posture and your stance is critical. So I'd like to talk to you about the dance position. So stand up if you can. Place your feet firmly on the floor, one foot in front of the other, about 30 centimetres or a foot apart. And notice, where are your shoulders? Are they up or are they down? And soften your shoulders, soften them and lean back. And drop your energy from your head into your heart. And imagine there's this plastic zipper over your heart, and unzip it. 1, 2, 3. Unzip your heart. Whoa. And put your hand on your lower belly and breathe into your lower belly. And notice how that feels. This posture immediately puts you in your feminine energy. It's very powerful. Use it with your man all the time. Use it with men at work, at meetings, when you're shopping, even when you're on the phone. Energetically lean back. It's a feminine energy of receiving. Make this posture your friend and use it constantly. And notice how it feels for you. Now, timing. Timing is really important. So when it comes to expressing your emotions, men are single-focused, and if your man is engrossed in a good movie, or he's reading the paper, or he's really tired, then it's probably not a good time. Or the respectful thing to do is say to him, look, I've got something I want to talk to you about. Is now a good time? If he says no, be okay with that. But make sure you ask him when is a good time and hold him to that. And don't let it be too far ahead in the future. Now, because men are way more sensitive than we give them credit for, the things that we say can hurt them very deeply. And it's really vital to track your body, tune into your emotions. What am I feeling in my body? Is it bad? Is it sad? Is it glad? Keep it simple. Avoid words like hurt or disrespected, because these are too much for him. And he'll probably shut down if you use those words. I know my husband does. And because if he thinks he's being blamed or judged or criticised, he'll back off or lash out verbally, like he'll get defensive, and then nothing gets solved. So when we talk about our feelings, men listen. Your vulnerability and ability to share your feelings like authentically is a true gift to your relationship. And it takes practice. And so go easy on yourself. But using language such as I feel or it feels or it felt, just such a simple, easy way to start your conversations. And keep it about you, like avoid using you, like pointed at him as much as possible, unless you have to say that to give it context. So instead of saying, when you did that, it made me so embarrassed. Instead say something like, well, when I saw that happening, I felt really uncomfortable. Or instead of saying, when you said that, it made me so angry. Instead say, well, when I hear those words, I feel really angry. I'm not blaming you. I'm just sharing how I feel. Because if he doesn't know how you feel, he can't do anything about it. And remember, he's not a mind reader. Or don't say something like, I really hate it when you leave your dirty dishes on the table. Instead, say something that empowers you and empowers him, like, it would feel really great if you would put your dishes in the dishwasher because I love it when our house is tidy. So it's really simple, like saying, it's simple conversation saying, I want this or I like this. Or you can express what you don't want simply and powerfully also. And you can set boundaries, which he will respect. Like, I don't want to be alone night after night, or I don't want to spend so much time apart, or I don't want to clean the house or wash the dishes by myself every night. Remember not to drop hints. Because if you're dropping hints, don't expect him to get it, because he won't. You need to communicate in plain, direct language. And, for some of us, most of us, that's not easy because it's not what we've been doing for all of our lives. So it takes practice. Keep a journal and write down conversations. It's because it's really essential for a loving relationship. And the more you play with this, the more you work with it, the more intention you put into it, then the better you'll be at it and the greater will the results be in your relationship. Your man will respect you for it. And see, most women don't do this well. We're not good communicators. So when you can communicate from that place of making it all about you without blame and about your feelings, it helps to build trust and safety in the relationship. And he really wants that too. So if you want to talk about something that holds a lot of emotion, perhaps something that you haven't been able to talk about in the past, take time to write it down and rehearse what you want to say. I've done that. Because often, otherwise the words just come out all the wrong way and we inflame the situation and nothing changes. And I remember a few years ago when I was really angry with my husband about an old issue that had resurfaced, and I was really upset. And I knew I was too emotional to express myself well. So I wrote it down. I wrote down my words and I practiced. And when he came home, I said to him, I want to talk about something that's important. Is now a good time? And he agreed. And I told him I was really upset about something that had happened the night before, which I explained from my feeling perspective without blame. I told him, I'm not blaming you. I just want you to know how I feel. And then I asked him, I said, what can we do in the future to avoid this happening? And I was so shocked at how easily and well the conversation went. He completely understood my feelings and he was willing to make sure that the same thing didn't happen again. And I felt really good. I felt really good about myself for having the courage to speak my truth, which is something that I've spent most of my life avoiding. But honestly, it's not that hard. And it made me realize that when we drop our words or drop our swords of righteousness or blame, of judgment and criticism, and ask our men to help us, it's a completely different scenario. And it's the same for you. Deep down, your man wants to be your hero. So, as I've said many times, it is crucial to stop yourself from using blame and criticism in your communication, which I used to do all the time, and make it all about you and your feelings. So instead of saying, I hate it when you spend so much time with your friends, you've always put them first. Say something like, well, I really love it when we spend time together, and we haven't done much of that lately, and I know friends are important, and is there any way that we can do more things as a couple? What do you think? He loves it if you ask him what he thinks. Men love to problem solve. Or another example, I feel a bit lonely when we go out and I don't see you all night. What do you think? And if he comes back at you with a smart answer like, you're always off talking to anybody and everybody, it's not my fault. Take a moment, catch your breath, say, okay, I hear you. I'm not blaming you. I'm simply telling you how I feel. And I'm wondering if we can work together on this one. What are your thoughts? Because see, when we come from attack and criticism, he can't hear. He just shuts down. So another example of this might be, I hate it when you work so damn hard. Why didn't you marry your job? Instead, say something like, I feel sad that you're working so much lately. I know you're working hard for our family, and I really appreciate that. It's just that I feel lonely and I'm missing you. What do you think? Or I've noticed you've been working a lot lately and I'm really scared and I don't want that. Is there something you want to talk about? So saying what you don't want is empowering, and the way to doing it well is to once again make it all about you, so that there's no confrontation, there's no attacking, there's no blame. It's just saying, no, I don't want this. And he will respect that if he's a good guy. And most men are good guys. And if he's clearly in the wrong and you have every right to be really upset, you can share that with him. Tell him, I'm feeling really upset. I'm feeling really triggered. Let him see that. You can cry, no problem. As long as it's real and you're not trying to manipulate him. And we don't want to dump guilt on him. That doesn't work either. Just share from your perspective of, this is how I feel. When that happened, I felt horrible. I wanted to cry. And just remember, if you want him to hear you and you want a resolution, then you must choose your words carefully. And if he comes back at you with anger, say, wow, I can feel how angry you are. And that's okay. Or if he's aggressive, say, I know you're upset and I'm feeling scared, so I'm going to leave until we both cool down, and then get out of there. Now, this is a huge topic, which we've only touched upon. Yet I just felt it was just way too important not to talk about, because good communication is essential for a great relationship. And it does take practice. So I really encourage you to be mindful of your energy and the words that you use, because they can make or break your relationship very quickly. Be aware of your posture. Remember the dance position. And this is an art. It requires patience and practice and intelligence, emotional intelligence. And I can help you with that. And I want to finish with a quote from Cheryl Richardson. And she says, people start to heal the moment they feel heard. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.